Before we start this video, I want to clarify some things. You see, a 2011 and a 1911 that's double stacked are not the same things. You see, this Staccato is a 2011, where this Prodigy is a double stacked 1911. But see, the Staccato is also a double stacked 1911. Confusing? Yes, I know. But the thing is this, all 2011s are double stacked 1911s, and not all double stacked 1911s are 2011s.
So what are you saying?
What are you saying?
What are you saying, George?
So I just made it even more confusing. But if we're gonna be real, it's only the most discerning of 2011 aficionados who can tell the difference between a double stacked 1911 and a 2011. And for the most part, most people just call all double stacked 1911s 2011s. So for purposes of this video, I'm going to call all double stacked 1911s 2011s, because I refuse to say double stacked 1911 50 million times in this video.
You're lazy and you're stupid.
Love you. 2011s aren't new. They've been around since the late 80s, with the first iteration being the Para-Ordnance P14-45. But right now in the gun world, double stacking 1911s chambered in 9mm are all the rage. And rightfully so. Because generally speaking, 2011s are laughably easy to shoot, really ergonomic, and are generally sexy as hell. And within that space, within the stratification of 2011s, there are three tiers. You have the mass-produced or entry level, like this Prodigy here. And then you have your semi-custom. And then you have your, holy shit, this is expensive as or as what I like to call, fully custom.
Now, before you finish watching this video, I want to quickly talk about the hearing protection that I'm wearing in this video. These are the AKT1 blackout wireless in-ear hearing protection with Bluetooth. I like to call them the AirPods for shooters. I say for shooters because AirPods don't protect your hearing, but these do. They are hands down my favorite in-ear hearing protection that I've ever used, and I mean ever. They have an NR 25 dB auto noise blocking. They can enhance your hearing by 6 times. They have advanced noise cancellation, Bluetooth connectivity with high fidelity speakers so you can take phone calls and listen to music. They have a battery life of 10 hours with an additional 30 hours in the charging case, and they're low profile and stylish enough to fit in not only at the gun range, but in your gym, while you're studying, working, at school, at home, you name it. I'm in love with these things, and now they're finally available on my store at shop.mrcolionnoir.com, or you can just click the link in the description section of this video. All the ammo used in this video was brought to you by Noir.
So entry-level 2011s are anywhere between 800 to 2,000. And then semi-customs are anywhere from 2,500 to 4,000. And anything above 5,000 is basically fully custom. Now, the street prices on the Prodigy are anywhere from $1,250 to $1,400, which compared to every other handgun is pretty damn expensive. But in the 2011 world, that's kind of entry-level pricing. But holy, is the Prodigy a damn good entry-level 2011. Let me tell it, the Prodigy is the best entry-level 2011 on the market, hands down. But keep in mind, I'm biased as hell, because Springfield sent me this gun long before it was ever released, so I had all the time in the world to fall in love with it. And also, everything I'm about to say about the Prodigy applies to the 5-inch as well as the 4 1/4.
I love my Staccatos, I adore my Nighthawk, and I want a Bull Armory really bad. But if the Springfield Prodigy was the only 2011 I owned, I'd be just fine. I'd still drool over other 2011s, but I'd wipe the drool from my mouth with my Prodigy. To be frank, there were other 2011s that are noticeably cheaper than the Prodigy, but they kind of sort of look noticeably cheaper than the Prodigy. To me, the Prodigy doesn't look like a $1,400 gun. It looks like a $2,000 gun. I have 2011s that are much more expensive than the Prodigy, and every single time I pick up the Prodigy, I think, damn, this is a good looking gun. And there'll be a $5,000 2011 sitting right in front of me. Is it the best looking 2011? Nope. And you shouldn't expect it to be, because it's an entry level 2011. But if you had to put the best looking 2011s in one gun safe, the Prodigy will make it into that safe. It may be in the back of that safe, but it's in the back of a safe where every other 2011 is double its price. Look, Nothing shoots better in my hand than my Staccato XC, which is a $4,800 gun. If you said Colion Noir, you have to shoot an apple off of Carucci Tran's head. Yeah, for some reason I still have a thing for her. I'm using my XC. But I've been at the range running drills with my XC. And then for kicks, I do the same drills with my Prodigy. And I was able to run the drill just fine with the Prodigy. Yeah, it felt easier with the XC, but we're talking about a gun more than double the price of the Prodigy. And it's more or less keeping up. Then there's the way that the Prodigy feels. You see, racking the slide and messing with the controls on a custom 2011 feels like the gun is lubricated with unicorn tears. It's insane. And no, I'm not about to say the Prodigy feels the same because that would be goofy. But if you never racked a slide on a custom 2011 and you racked a slide on a Prodigy, you're gonna think the Prodigy is pretty damn smooth.
Damn, that's smooth.
But honestly, the slide feels exactly how I'd expect a $1,400 2011 to feel. And it's hard to f up the grip of a 2011. They're essentially 1911, so ergonomics come naturally to the 2011. But the grip on the Prodigy, this is more round than it is square, and it makes for a very, very comfortable feeling gun. Not high end, not high speed, but comfortable. Granted, the gun in and of itself is a bit heavy because it has this big ass bull barrel on it, which has its own pluses and minuses. Besides a big ass magwell, which I'm still 50-50 on, there's no feature the Prodigy doesn't have compared to its more expensive counterparts. It has suppressor height sights, red dot mounting options for the most common red dots, deep slide serrations, ambi safety, grip safety, skeletonized trigger, trigger guard undercut, the ability to add a big ass magwell if you want it, a bull barrel which improves accuracy and recoil management. A lot of guns on the lower end of the entry-level side of 2011s don't have all the features of their semi-custom brethren, but the Prodigy does.
So the next reason I think the Springfield Prodigy is one of the best entry-level 2011s on the market is reliability. And I can already hear some of you saying right now, but the earlier models had some issues. And I saw that online that earlier models did have issues. However, I didn't have any issues with mine. But I also had my gun sent to me by Springfield. So you could make the argument that they cherry-picked the gun and picked a gun that they absolutely knew would run with no issues. That could be the case. I also had 3 more of them, and those ran fine as well. But there was somebody I used to date. She got one of the earlier models, and she said that she was having issues with hers. So I took that gun, and I took it to the range, and the first thing I noticed was that it was drier than the Sahara Desert. So I put some lube on it and cleaned it, and ran the gun, and the gun ran fine. Then I took that gun, gave it to one of my other friends. He ran the gun. He didn't have any issues with it either. I say all that to say this. Keep in mind that regardless whether it's an entry-level 2011, a semi-custom, or a custom, these are going to be the race cars of the handgun world, and thus they have tight tolerances, and thus they require a lot more maintenance than, say, a Glock. These aren't Glocks, so don't treat them like Glocks. They don't like to run dirty, and they like to be pretty lubed up for the most part. So just keep that in mind if you decide to delve into the 2011 world, considering I am talking about an entry-level 2011.
So you're kind of like a 2011.
What? How? Why? What? I don't even understand that.
Because you want to be coddled and lubed up. And, oh wait, sorry, no Diddy.
Wow, Peter.
Now let's talk about how easy it is to get your hands on the Prodigy. It's kind of like hitting a bullseye without even aiming. You see, while other 2011s and other people might be trudging through the wilderness in search of their preferred entry-level 2011, because a lot of them honestly are imported in batches, the Prodigy sits right there, front and center, waiting for you. You don't need to go on some wild goose chase. It's as simple as walking into your local gun store or browsing online. That accessibility in and of itself kind of speaks volumes about its popularity and means that it'll be easier to get accessories for.
Another reason why I think the Prodigy is the best entry-level 2011 is from what I call the X factor. You see, if you try to compare a semi custom and an entry-level 2011 together on paper, it's not gonna make much sense to you. You're gonna look at it and you're gonna ask yourself, why would anybody pay $4,000 for a gun that on paper looks so similar to a $1,400 gun? And it's a very valid question. However, 2011s aren't about what you can quantify on paper. 2011s are, I believe, what they make you feel like when you're shooting them, when you're holding them, when you're racking the slide, and when you're running the safety and doing all of those things. That is what the 2011 experience is all about. It's that unexplainable appeal, that je ne sais quoi, that comes with the gun that you can only get when you actually have it in your hand and you're out and you're shooting it and you're looking at it and you're admiring it. And what comes from that is an experience that if it doesn't make you do that, if you don't smile, and that uncontrollable smile, it doesn't really have enough of it. And I think the Prodigy has it in spades. I can go and I can shoot this gun back to back, go from a $10,000 2011 to the Prodigy, and I still walk away. I still walk away with that smile. And that to me is how you explain 2011s. They're emotional. They are driven by feeling. There's no logic involved in it, because I mean, we're talking about a metal gun more or less that's a double stack with a bunch of 9mm rounds in it, and they're expensive. And there are other guns that can do what the 2011 does, but they don't make you feel. They don't give you the confidence. They don't just, yes, that's the word that should come to your mind the moment you have one and you shoot it, is yes.
Yes, yes, yes.
If that 2011 doesn't do that, you got the wrong 2011. But I know for a fact this Prodigy has it in spades.
Make no mistake, I'm not even insinuating that the Prodigy is just as good as $5,000 2011s. It's not. But it's close enough that if you don't have $5,000 to spend on a 2011, you won't care. But the moment you do have $5,000 to spend on a 2011, you're gonna buy a more expensive 2011 because the Prodigy is a gateway drug into the world of 2011s. It's good enough to make you really happy, but lacks just enough, once again, je ne sais quoi, to make you wonder about more expensive 2011s. And that's exactly what the best entry-level 2011 should do. Make you completely content, but so good for the price that you can't help but wonder what a more expensive 2011 is like. Send your hate. Guns aren't political. That's why I need your help getting this message to spread on YouTube by clicking the thumbs up button, leaving a comment to let me know what you think of the video, then subscribing to the channel. But most importantly, click that bell symbol. For products featured in this video, click the links in the description.